Nobody is busier than a Christian with a mission. So all you Christians out there trying to better understand who God has called you to be are reading more self-help books, end up in more courses through the year, and YouTube channels by the boatload, including this one. And I'm glad you're watching this one. We find ourselves going through the motions and ticking all the boxes, and you know what? Nothing is changing. Are you tired of all of this? And I guess it even becomes sickening after a while. Would you call this motion sickness? I would. Hi, I'm Walt, and this is Walt with God. So come, walk with me as we begin our quest into the depths and the heights of our loving God. You know, going through the motions, I've been there, done that, and tried to burn that t-shirt. Now, my question is, do we all go through the motions? Christian or not, are we all prone also to motion sickness? No, I don't think so. And here's why. Let's paint this picture by the numbers. 1, God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, John 3:16. 2, Jesus died, and through his blood we have redemption and the forgiveness of sins, Colossians 1:14. And 3, last but not least, we're seated with Christ at God's right hand, Ephesians 1:19. That's quite a hit up. So God looks at Jesus and says, "Good job, son." Takes you and turns around and hands you over to the devil. Winks and says, "Good luck." No, heaven's sakes, no. Now, I know that we all live in a fallen world, and there's sin everywhere, and Satan is pulling the strings that you could shake a stick at. So when the earth moves under your feet and the mountains fall into the sea, what do? Well, we do a drive-by of Psalm 46, verses 1 to 3. Now, out of the Passion Translation, this is what it reads. God, such a safe and powerful place to find refuge. You're a proven help in time of trouble. More than enough and always available whenever I need you. So we will never fear, even if every structure of support were to crumble away. We will not fear, even when the earth quakes and shakes, moving mountains and casting them into the sea. For the raging roar of stormy winds and crashing waves cannot erode our faith in you. Oh my gosh, that's good. Now jump down to verse 10. Why? Because God has a plan. Verse 10 says, surrender your anxiety. Be still and realize that I am God. I am God above all the nations, and I am exalted throughout the whole earth. So when the Queefer says, I feel you, sister, being tossed around like some rag doll by the waves, and I'm going to ride it out with you. You can answer back, I don't know what waves you feel, because my ground is solid, solid as a rock. Do you remember Psalm 40, verses 1 to 3? You know that where it talks about that firm and secure place, that rock? Now, do you remember also the story about Jesus, who fell asleep in the boat? His disciples, who were seasoned fishermen, thought, this is it, we're going to die. They woke Jesus and said, Lord, don't you care that we're going to die? What did Jesus do? He got up, spoke to the storm, and said, "Peace, be still." Now, Jesus spoke to two different storms, one engulfing the boat that they were in, and the other in the hearts of his disciples. So what should we do? We should be still and abide, just like it says in John 15, verse 7. Let's read it. If you abide in me and my words abide in you, you will ask whatever you desire, and it shall be done for you. Wow, that ought to put some peace over you, right? Look at John 17, verses 20 to 23. I do not pray for these alone, but also for those who will believe in me through their words, that they all may be one, as you, Father, are in me, and I in you, that they also may be one in us, that the world may believe that you sent me, and that the glory that you gave me, I have given them, that they may be one, just as we are one. I in them, and you in me, that they may be made perfect in one, and that the world may know that you have sent me, and I have loved them as you have loved me. Oh my gosh. In verse 20, Jesus says, I do not pray for these alone. He's pointing to his disciples, but also for those who will believe in me through their words. You know, that's you and me. Now, this is one of the many verses that jumped off the page and oops, upside my head. Then Jesus continues and says that they all may be one, as you, Father, are in me and I in you, that they also may be one in us. Now, math was never my best subject in school, but when you take all of them, add in the Father, plus the Son, according to God, this equals one. This takes me to the verse that says, God chose the foolish to confound the wise. 1 Corinthians 1:27. Wow. This is not about going through the motions or ticking boxes. It's about being secure in how God sees you, the way Jesus modeled it. When you look at the life of Jesus, did you ever see him flabbergasted, frustrated, or anxious? No. And we abide in him. The only motion he experienced was the movement of the beat of the Father's heart. And you know what? There is no sickness attached to that. I love that. And God bless you. And you have an awesome, awesome week.